think that's the way we want to be. Hey, everybody, this is CaliAir bringing you the AIR show, Aragon Investigation Review. Um, just picked up another 155. I don't remember if I did an episode on the 155. I don't know if you can see that. It was really kind of hard to pick up. The 155. 1,000 shot, I believe 1936, 1938, perhaps the 40s. Although, it shoots so well, I almost think it's from the 50s because, as you guys know, the guns I've been getting from the 50s seem to be shooting really nice. And this is no exception. The bluing on this is kind of still somewhat intact. It's a little bit more visible here, or the so-called bluing, the faux bluing. Not quite sure what that process was, but if you do, why don't you leave a comment? Let me know. I actually have seen some bluing in a bottle at the store, so maybe it's just that. If so, I should, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, rebluing vintage might be a no-no, right? But who needs to? This is in really nice shape. I didn't have to finish this up. I haven't gone in and cleaned the insides out yet. I've been having too much fun shooting it. So this is the Daisy number 155, made in Plymouth. Like I said, sometime 38, 36. And when I say a good shooter, I mean this thing is strong. Yeah, let's go ahead right into the 50 plus yard that are so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say it's about 6 yards away. Okay. Usually like to shoot that one. It lets me know where it's shooting. And this is definitely about 15 yards away. Oh, I think I hit it, but let's try again. Now, something I did notice about this was it likes to hit far out more than close up. Although that's not the excuse right here. We're just gonna have to hit that. There we go. Now, I did oil this thing, put some Pell Gun oil down the barrel and the shot tube. Yeah, that hit nicely. That's about 20. I'd say maybe even 25 yards. That just hit out at. And confidently, strongly. Perhaps up there with the top strength hitters. The 155 is a little freaky. Like, it reminds me of a 102. Right? And the 102s are sort of like the Bucks, the 105s. And some of maybe even the earlier guns. Yeah, before the wood Red Ryder thing and the Lightning Loader. And the now my favorite number 10, which I haven't had out in a while. All right, let's hit out at That hit, but not, it nicked it. I don't like to count nicks. It's got to be a nice hard hit. That's a sort of small silhouette, steel silhouette target. Yeah, that's a nice strong hit. So it's hitting point of aim. Now that's unheard of. So far, this 155 really represents something special in the way of shooter. In the way of being a good shooter. There we go. Let's hit this. Let's hit that small cup out at. It's out at about 30. Yeah, it's about 30. 25, 30. Bingo. Yeah, you want to get a little dink out of that. Okay. Here it is, 40. 40 yards. Oh. Go with your heart. And what I meant by that is just point at what you're trying to hit. I actually was aiming. That hit point of aim. None of them do that. This is a 155 from 1930 something. Or no later than the early 1950s, that's for sure. They got it right with the 155. Sleek, right? Look how nice and thin. There's no extraneous stuff on it. No dangles. There's no no fancy stock. Shoots on you. I don't think this is pine, but it might be birch. I don't know. If you just saw this on the shelf with all the other ones, you would pass right by this. Boy, is this a good shooter. Oh, but I didn't hit out at 50 yet for you, did I? Or 50 plus, probably 55. 55 yards. I could just barely see the shovel. It has some foliage in front of it. See if I can catch some of the D-sling. Now, can't see it. I know I'm missing it though. I might just have to shoot point of aim. I don't think so. You see that? Now I'm wondering if this dieseling ooh. Hear how loud that is? Well, it doesn't. That's what happens if a DB isn't in there. I don't like that. Right? Probably, well, I guess it's not so bad, but I just don't like it. All right, well, the 155 is making a liar out of me, or at least my abilities is making a liar out of me. See that D-sling? Yeah, I'm thinking that might be because of two different types of oils. Maybe there is a, I don't know, a synthetic and some other kind that was used or something. Because boy, this thing diesels a lot. There we go. Seem to have cut down a leaf. All right, now if we can do it again, wow, look, smoke is coming out of the end of the barrel. That is something. Here, maybe I can get a direct shot of the dieseling as it's happening. Here we go. Let's try this. That is amazing. I don't know if you got to catch that or not. But let's give that 55-yard another try. Hopefully I can hit. No. So what is it with the 155? Because I have these and it's not as impressive. I would say it's more like, well, it's more like the 102 that's not impressing me at the moment. I'm sure. Now, not all 102s are alike, not all 155s are alike, right? Not even all Red Riders are alike. It's somewhat of a crapshoot, I believe they call it. Getting something of a shooter. Jeez, yeah, I can't see today where it is going. And I have to say, I've been shooting this for a couple days, and this is the worst I've shot it yet. There we go. I think I have to shoot point of aim. I'm pretty sure I have to aim right at the shovel at 55 yards. That's incredible. Now I know you guys that shoot the higher velocity pellet guns, I know that ain't anything, right? Even with a pellet gun, handgun. Oh, okay. Pardon me. Even with a, like my P3 pellet gun pistol, I can hit out very accurately, point of aim, or near point of aim. Yeah, so this is near point of aim. I'm hitting when I'm just aiming at the top of the shovel at 55 yards. Ooh, but not that time. This is all about. Yeah. Now it's really interesting is the different ways to focus on the front sight, on the back sight, and on your target. And then usually when I get a positive hit, and when I mean a positive hit, I mean before it hits, I know it's going to hit. That split second when you know it's going to hit. And the interesting thing is everything's blurred at that point. It's like everything sort of lines up and then blurs right at the right on the pull of the trigger. And then another trick has always been to let the trigger pull be somewhat of a surprise. That's not to mean that it should be a surprise. I'll show you what I mean. Like now I'm aiming. Now I could shoot, but now I'm just adding slow pressure. And I'm gonna let my finger sort of slowly press and not anticipate the pull. Of course, hitting the target, it would be a lot more impressive. But the visual thing isn't happening. I have to shut up and just do it. Okay, I think I saw it now. It's dropping left sometimes. Now, as you know, or some of you guys might know, with BB guns, Daisy BB guns, and shooting out at 50 yards, or shooting BB guns in general, even sometimes close distance, it's hard to get the same consistency and accuracy as a rifle barrel, right? But well, I don't know, consistency, yes, I think you can get a bit of consistency. Right now I'm consistently missing. Yeah, and I keep hitting the tree in front of it. The problem, come into the closer target. Mr. Squirrel's come to visit. Oh man. Well, trust me, if you will, this 155 is shooting a lot better than I am. It may need some oil. Maybe, I don't know. This shit is dieseling like crazy, though. So it may be shooting somewhat erratic. Yeah, I have a funny feeling it's shooting erratic. Or I'm shooting erratic. That's the fun of shooting, right? It's trying to figure out whose fault is it. Oh man, it really is hitting. Oh boy, there's a loud popping noise when there's no BB in there. All right. I don't know. I don't know if this is of any value to anyone. Am I missing more than probably any? I could probably say I've never missed with any of the guns as much as I'm missing right now. And it might not even be hyperbole. Oh, thank you. There, that's a nice smack. All right, that's the way it's been hitting. The 155. All right. Tell you what here, this should be fun. We'll go up a new target. I think from this range, you'll probably be able to see where they're landing. I'm going to focus on this as my focal point. Here, haps over to the left. Let's see what happens. All right, maybe you can't see that because it's so close. I'm about 6 feet away. This corner right up here. Yeah. So I was aiming right about here, and it's not bad. But yeah, you gotta remember the arc, the path of the projectile, because at certain ranges, it sort of falls back into the line. If that makes any sense, falls back into the horizontal, as if the bullet doesn't, or the projectile doesn't go out in a horizontal fashion. It curves. Sometimes it curves out this way, but eventually it returns to that line. And so certain guns, BB guns, I'm talking about specifically here, they have a different curve, and they find that line. For instance, the line returns at about 40 yards. So at 40 yards, I can aim at a 40-yard target, dead at it, and hit it. Oh. Man. There we go. Yeah, I really do feel like this is kind of needing some oil at this point, because it's not being quite. So, if you know anything about this 155, the Daisy 155, let me know. Because my guess is that they came out with the 100, which is the brake barrel, and the 101, which is the Daisy for a penny, or a Daisy for a buck, I think, rather. And the 102, which was the upgrade of the 101. Right, the 101 was a single. Drop it down the barrel and then cock it. The 102, I believe, is the 500 shot. I have one right over there, but yeah, 500 shot. So I'm thinking the 155 is the upgrade to the 1000 shot, and perhaps sort of the same concept going on with the overall gun. I do not know. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is doing really well. I'm not doing really well, and perhaps it needs some oil, but still, I mean, and even under duress, look at that. Even under duress. Oh, see that? That did a little curveball. I think that was some wind. Boom. Tink. So it's hitting point of aim at 40 yards. And if I shoot closer, I have to aim lower. Yeah, and that was the 30-yard target. So some of the things I really like about this, sorry guys, I just has that loss for words. I really, this is one of the great things about collecting is that, you know, well, especially these, they're not very expensive. And you have some photos and you can ask questions, but you really never know what you're going to get until it shows up at the door. And more times than not, so far in my experience, um, I've been, I've gotten a lot of treasures, a lot of really interesting little treasures. No real pieces of junk. And well, that last 102 I guess is a piece of junk. It was made a piece of junk, but it's still working, and that's impressive. And you know, it still hits. Still hits out at 40. I think the 102 is even hitting with some Kentucky windage out at 50. So twos also. I have I believe it's a 1950s or 60s Daisy Hedon um, CompuMeter. And that 102 is just beautiful. I mean, in fact, I would sort of put it in line with this. They kind of look the same. So yeah, it's a youth gun, and that 102 seems like the predecessor of the current 105, the Buck. Yeah. So this is probably cast iron. No, this is aluminum. Pretty sure this is aluminum. Have to get my fancy metal detector out to find out for sure. So this has my favorite sights on there, which is the nice solid piece of steel coming out of the top of the receiver. And same thing here, just a nice solid piece of steel. Loads, just a twist, and it loads from here. No faux seam hider. The Red Riders 111s, of course. They oh, where did I get there we go. Yeah, there's a problem there. Yeah, they have that little underlining where it's supposed to be the ammo holder, but actually it doesn't hold any BBs at all. There's just a little tunnel that goes right from that tube into the main barrel here reservoir, not the shot tube, the reservoir. But what it's really trying to do is they're trying to hide that seam. See that seam? Trying to hide that seam. It's very hard. You can just squeeze those seams together almost. So it's sort of the most unrealistic aspect of the Daisy, but I don't know. I'm coming to like it just fine. I like the seam. I call it my ammo indicator. So if the more of a seam you got, the easier it is for you to see how much ammo you've got. Although this one is really tight. This is probably one of the tightest seams on 155 or 102 that I've seen, except for, of course, the brand new ones. The brand new ones, they are more than capable of keeping those seams nice and tight together. So, but I don't know about you, but you know, the new ones are awesome. They're great plinking. They're accurate, you know. I mean, they're more accurate than any of the antiques, you know, or as accurate as your best antique shooter. But they got the plastic, right? They got The newer ones. They have the plastic handles. They got the plastic triggers, which they're fine. It doesn't affect the accuracy. We don't know if how to what extent it will affect the machinery. Like how long will that machinery last? Right. We know that these last for 100 years. The metal machinery here. Yeah. I have a 1980s, and I got it just for that purpose, just to see how, because they started using the plastic, and just to see how well it has held up, or how well it will hold up in the future. So, you know, but it's a great shooter. So by the 80s, they were they started they were let's just say by the 80s, when they added the plastic, it certainly didn't affect the shooting accuracy or ability. So yeah, the vote is still out on if the plastic will last as long or is more fragile, which I don't think it is. As much as I give credit to the Chinese models, man, isn't it cool to hold a piece of Americana back when America, made stuff? Or at least back where, well, this is really represents American manufacturing when they first started to outsource, because Daisy was amongst the first, right, to outsource and get parts and stuff and work deals with other countries. Now, I'm not sure if this is to what extent we worked with other people abroad for manufacturing parts, or just sales, or maybe both. But of course, we do know now that we get a lot of our parts from the newer guns, from China and elsewhere. So, all right. Well, it's another episode of Keep On Shooting with your very tired and lazy on a almost summer afternoon, poorly shooting a 155. I thought I was going to come out here and really I do that every time. Every time I push the record button, shoot my best, and well, it doesn't always happen, does it? Yeah. Look at the strength on this, behind this. You hear how hard that hit? All right, let me try. See if I can knock that can around at all. Probably not. Yeah. Jeez. Somewhat of a hair trigger. Yeah. Yeah, it's too deep in there to knock around, but that really gives it a good whack. Yeah. Yeah, remember, this is, what, 1936? I don't think it's any earlier than 36. All right. 48, maybe, no later than 1948. Probably first manufactured in around 1938, maybe. Man, I am just pulling these numbers from my very uh, limited memory. 1,000 shot Daisy Manufacturing Company. Yeah. It's probably the upgrade after all the Depression years, the 155, following the Depression year model of the 101 and the 102, right? So, okay, guys and gals, cats and dogs, until next time.